All right. Cheers. Everybody got their beer.
Speaking of.
Cheers for the beer.
Cheers.
Boom.
John was cracking me up because he only last week watched one of the episodes.
I know. Had no idea that we did anything or heard the song or anything.
Oh yeah,
you guys do
realized
a podcast?
that we had some choir dirges in there.
You guys know we do a podcast? It's on YouTube. Isn't that weird? I just subscribed.
Wait till he finds out it's on Spotify too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, welcome back to another episode of the Movie Podium, a weekly podcast where we collectively choose a movie. And watch at the end of the week. We get together and talk about it. It's kind of like a book club, but for movies. Woo!
Thank you, Eric.
We also
You're welcome.
Came up with a set of questions to ask ourselves as we watch this, such as, is this a podium movie or a top 3 in the year of its respective release? I'm your host, or the host, Matt Scott, and I'm here with my dudes, Eric, or E-Rock,
P-Pow,
Dave,
hi everybody,
Daniel,
hey,
and Cooking with Kevin.
That's me.
play the song.
Play that track.
Cooking with Kevin.
play that hotness.
He's whipping up food.
Take it to the Matthews Bridge.
He's got a little liquid courage that makes him a better cook.
You get a little more every time.
I love that Matt sings along with it, and you can't really tell which one.
So, without further ado, we present our next movie.
When the McCallister family left on their Christmas vacation, they forgot Kevin! Home Alone.
Did this scare anybody else of aftershave as a kid? Did this just mortify you? Because I don't think I've ever used aftershave, and I think when I first started shaving, I always thought of this movie and was like, it's got to burn, right?
I did until my mom bought me cool, soothing aftershave lotion.
Ooh, the aloe
for Christmas one year, and it was I put it on and I was like, oh, this does feel better because it's basically just like lotion, but it wasn't
like that
lotion.
Before.
No. Brute
I think this movie.
Yeah.
I think this movie changed the whole industry.
Yeah.
Of aftershave.
How wild. So this is our third week.
So you're saying that the makers of aftershave were pissed off at Home Alone for what they did to their product.
Guaranteed. This definitely had to put some down stock on the aftershave business for sure. So this is our third week of our our Christmas podcast. Christmas is going to be here before you know it. You guys have all your presents wrapped?
Not wrapped. Bought. Hey, there's a man who's ahead of the game.
I have not bought mine yet. I'm working on it.
What are you going to get me?
You'll just have to find out.
We're all going to get Kevin cigarettes.
Well, I already got you a koozie, so...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what more do you want, Eric? You
I don't
dick.
know.
Right. So let's talk about Home Alone a little. This was one of the first movies that I really remember watching every year as a family. It was definitely a syndicated classic for us, that 90s prime era of syndication. Home Alone hit really hard, right at Thanksgiving, all the way up until Christmas. It definitely made real pop culture waves. This is a John Hughes movie with all the Chicago references. Daniel, look at that hat. Ferris Bueller's another one.
Is it cold in your house? Yeah, this room is a little bit cold, David. It doesn't have central heat in this room. Thanks for rubbing it in.
It's kind of hot in my basement right now. Not gonna lie.
Take off
just turn that
shirt,
dryer
Daddy.
on.
Can you imagine wearing a shirt.
You take your shirt off and you have like the logo tattooed on your chest.
Just wait. So this
You won't do it.
No, probably not. I'm a chicken. Let's be honest. But I might do the Joe Flacco thing on my ass, but we'll see. That Browns win the Super Bowl. I mean, when the Angels win the pennant. This obviously catapulted Macaulay Culkin into stardom for a child that maybe we haven't seen since in the movie world. I mean, Haley Joel Osment a little, but Macaulay Culkin was a bigger star than Haley Joel Osment. Can you guys think of anybody that hit it like that was, had a star this bright? I mean, obviously he went with the Michael Jackson, that video, was it black and white? That shortly after this?
That sounds correct, yeah.
Yeah, so like there was this, big pop culture with Macaulay Culkin, and obviously this kickstarted it. But can you think of another child actor that is as popular as he was?
I would say maybe, the Olsens or maybe Drew Barrymore.
But Barrymore was
VH1
before.
VH1 did a list, and
really?
got number 2, and he got number 2. So there is somebody.
Oh, and you don't remember who number 1 was?
No, I didn't look at the list.
Oh man!
But he would. Whenever on his Wikipedia, it said he was number 2 on that list. And I was like, so who's number? So I said to myself, who's number 1, but didn't look it up.
You said to yourself, but you didn't do shit about it.
Kid from Home Improvement.
It could be the Olsen. Jonathan Taylor Thomas? No.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
No, not bigger than Home Alone and Macaulay Culkin. Maybe the Olsen twins, but they were around the same era, so I wouldn't say they were much later on, but so same era. So when comparing this to Elf and Jingle All the Way, doesn't this one feel a little more iconic? And part of that's because we grew up with it. But also, this had a budget of $18 million and made almost $500 million. It was the longest running or highest grossing comedy for like 30 years almost.
Yeah, until The Hangover 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to interject. The VH1 list at number 1 is Justin Bieber.
Oh, so that's not the same. Yeah. So actor-wise,
what list are you looking at? I found the list, and it's Gary Coleman.
Oh, okay. I could see Gary Coleman as that.
I
but
am
that's
on
before
100 greatest kid stars of all time on VH1.com.
No, you got to go. So it was a list from 2005.
Okay.
So go to
Either
hell.
Way,
super up to date.
I found the link on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I did it better.
Yeah. But either way, I would say
suck it, Eric.
In both lists.
Suck it, Eric.
And no one has gotten to that realm since, right? So this is a huge movie, very iconic. Was this a big movie in your guys' household?
100%.
Yeah.
Honestly, not really for me, but
just like the syndication point is like,
I know.
Every time it was on TV, I would watch it.
Same.
Every time it was on TV, I'd watch it. It was either this movie, The Santa Claus. Those were always watched at Christmas time.
Yep. Yeah, I distinctly remember this coming on, like Thanksgiving. Like you had football on Thursday, and then by Saturday night, you had Home Alone on NBC.
Yeah. And then, like, all day throughout the week on, like, TNT or USA.
Yeah, yep. It's definitely one of the top.
Family.
Yeah, now it's ABC Family, right? Because it's a Disney owned. Well, freeform, but I'm just saying because it's on Disney now.
Yeah.
So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe this video and our channel. We're getting close to 500 subscribers.
Yeah, that's wild.
We're very close. So we're going to do a drawing for the 500th subscriber and also a koozie to the 500th subscriber and also a drawing for a random member. So we'll set that up here in the next couple days by the time this airs, you'll see on our community page, we'll have a post and figure out the logistics on how to get that to you. But yeah, we're excited. We're continually growing, and some of our newest episodes are taking off, and we're pumped. We love this Christmas month, and we're having a good time with it.
Yeah, thank you.
Kevin will pay for the shipping. He said
Kevin's paying for the shipping, and also he said to check out the moviepodium.net. Didn't you?
Yeah.
I did.
I like this game of just putting words in Kevin's mouth.
Kevin said he was going to buy us the .com domain.
It's like 20-some bucks. Come on. Pony up.
Remember when you said that, Kevin?
You just got to DM Dave and you can get all my information.
Matt, did you calculate how many votes we had on this one?
Yeah, so this one had 388 votes total between Instagram and YouTube alone. That's awesome. Pretty much double any other one that we've had. Pretty wild. Yeah, I mean...
The people want Home Alone.
Yeah.
Or Love Actually.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. Love actually won on YouTube, but we had such a demand on Instagram for Home Alone that we ended up going with Home Alone.
I'll get it on here one day.
Home Alone.
It's a good movie.
We were going to do it anyway. The poll was just a joke.
You had Santa Claus 2, Jingle All the Way 2, Home Alone. All right, you guys ready for some? Yeah, you guys ready for some random ass facts? Got a couple good trivia questions too. So this had a 7.7 on IMDb, way higher than Thor.
Higher than Thor?
It's way higher than Thor, and higher than Elf, and way higher than Jingle All the Way.
Is it higher than Jawn?
No.
I think Rocket 10. Man might be the only answer there, or Interstellar. That might be higher than Jawn.
The limit does not exist.
The Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
they are higher.
Space movies. So, does anybody know or can guess the number of kids in the extended family of the McCallisters?
11.
No.
It's 11.
That's
including Kevin. Sorry.
That's including
Kevin.
You said extended family. That's just
extended kids in the extended family, including Kevin.
You should have just said kids. How many kids were in the house.
Yeah, how many kids?
That would have been a better way to say that.
You knew what I was getting at.
I hear where Daniel's being critical. You said extended family. So we would have needed to figure out how many kids were in Kevin's family, subtract that number from the total number, which was 11. I got your back, Daniel. Don't worry. Matt's a bully. Hashtag Matt's a bully.
I'll beat your ass. I mean...
Team Danvid.
Jesus.
No.
Apparently, David Stern really did scream with a live tarantula on his face.
I read that he had to mime the scream because to not scare the spider.
Really? I
swear.
Not see that. Again,
it's literally on IMDb. Whenever you go to Home Alone, there's a video that plays, and it says Daniel Stern had to mime the scream to not scare the spider.
Either way, it was on his face.
What else you got that I can argue with?
Can you name the movie that Kevin uses to scare away the pizza guy in Harry and Marv?
No, because it's fake. It's not a real movie.
Or Angels.
Correct.
Angels something.
Yes, Eric's on the right track.
I can't remember.
Angels with Filthy Souls. And yes, it's not a real movie. It was just made for the movie. You gotta love movies within a movie, right?
That is like Inception level stuff.
I know.
It's such a pivotal moment in the movie that the sub movie has become famous as well.
Right. Yep.
Which
I know
weird.
it's just as famous almost. I mean, from what we talk about quote wise, John Hughes wrote this, right? Well, what Christopher Columbus was the director. Shout out to our Harry Potter episode. So John Hughes said that he wrote this while on a trip with his family. On that trip, he thought, what would be the worst thing that he could forget on a trip? And he thought, probably my own children. And then he went on to think, what would my children be afraid of? He thought, well, probably a burglar or burglars, which is kind of weird because as a kid, I don't think we were afraid of burglars. I think we were afraid of, the dark or my grandpa's, closet, playing the Smurfs and seeing Gargamel, ghosts.
We didn't grow up in a big city. We grew up in a small town where
that's fair.
A burglar wasn't really.
But I don't think you're aware of them as kids, is what I think. Daniel?
There was a burglar. The 5th Street thief. He was going up and down 5th Street stealing from houses.
Really?
Yeah, he got busted, but we called him the 5th Street
Just walk
thief,
in.
at least. He tried to break into our house. But Holly and Sydney...
Really?
Holly and Sydney, I heard them barking, and it was not their, hey, someone's here bark. It was yo, they're mad bark.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I went to the back door and I saw someone dart through the trees in our neighbor's yard.
Wow, that's
Fifth
weird.
Street thief. He was legit.
Watch out.
You're gonna
Thank
get
you,
bum
Holly and
rushed.
Sydney.
Yeah. Big ups.
So we had a couple
Thank God for
casting.
them. We got to hear that story.
Yeah. We had a couple casting what ifs. Apparently, Robert De Niro and John Lovitz were originally supposed to play the burglars.
Okay, I want John Lovitz as the burglar.
Yeah, that would be pretty
I
zany.
assume that he's going to be Joe Pesci's character, but
Yeah,
They
they were.
fire so
know.
hot.
And speaking of Pesci, they had a lot.
Shit, that was
What?
that spot on impression.
Yeah. So speaking of Pesci, apparently they had trouble dealing with Joe Pesci more than they did with Macaulay Culkin on set. Pesci had a hard time holding back on profanity and also said he wouldn't start call times until after he got in 9 holes.
Really?
Shit, bro. That one kind
What
of
a-
surprised me, but
What a
Insanity.
He was the biggest star of this movie. Let's be real.
At the time, yes.
Yeah.
Out of the rest of the cast, I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
he just won best supporting actor in Goodfellas.
He probably thought he was hot shit. And was like,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Ain't no kid gonna take the spotlight from me.
Right, and in Goodfellas,
I don't know why I made Joe Pesci sound like that, but it just
in
that's what we
Goodfellas
do.
he says fuck every 3 words, so it was very hard for him apparently. And they even said instead of fuck, say fridge or friggin' or they
There
had
was
to give
some
him
cursing
cues.
in this movie.
There's a few, definitely. And then
I really
my last,
like his muttering non-curses.
yeah, exactly. You know, he
good.
really wanted to curse there.
Oh, yeah.
And my last point I wanted to make was that, and I think we could do a whole nother episode on this, but it's the fact that there's a million wild theories out there. I don't know if you guys have heard of any of these, and I won't go into too much detail, but apparently there's a theory that Kevin's dad is the mob boss in Chicago, and that's why they're
I've heard
so
this
rich. Yeah, I mean, because he paid for 11, or no, more than that, the entire family to go to France.
15.
Yeah, 15. And then you had, or another theory is that Uncle Frank hired the Wet Bandits to rob the house.
I like that one a lot.
And
Uncle
also
Frank
there's
fucking
one,
sucks.
yeah, he does. Well, you notice he never has any real reaction when they're like, oh, Kevin's at the house and he's eating shrimp, or he's, said, oh, why? He compared it to forgetting his reading glasses.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now
There's
we're
a lot of
stealing
other-
lines.
Yeah,
God
okay.
damn it.
Let's get into the questions before Dave
Fine.
loses
No,
his shit.
I don't want to get into the
Fine.
questions yet because I have a random ass fact. You guys just trying to speed all this along.
Well,
I got things to say. I got things to say about this movie.
Good.
I have opinions too. Damn it!
Did you know that in every scene there were the colors red and green to keep the Christmas theme? In every scene of the movie, there's both red. There's both red and green.
That's a nice
That's
touch.
awesome.
Yeah.
See, I got good facts.
Dave, we know you got good facts. We just didn't think that we didn't know that you had them. I'm sorry.
I also got a good top 5 list.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Coming in hot.
All right. You ready for the questions then?
Yeah.
Favorite thing about the movie? Kevin, why don't you go first? You've been pretty quiet.
Kevin!
I just like all the traps and shit that he sets up. It's just something that I would want to do. If I had the opportunity to set up things like that to take down people.
I was hoping this was going to be somebody's
so
favorite
cool.
thing. Let's talk about traps, why don't we? Top 5.
Oh, shit!
Top 5 traps that Kevin set in the house.
Shit. I had the same top 5. So.
No, let's do dueling top 5 lists.
So
I'll give mine. I'll give my 5. You give your 5, and then we'll go back and forth. Do you have any OLIs?
OLIs?
Outside looking in.
Oh,
Get with the fucking program, Matt.
My only difference was, I want to clarify. I had most painful booby traps, but I'll still.
Okay. Well,
but same thing.
We can still do dueling lists. We can still do dueling lists.
I didn't have any
dueling list.
Okay,
I've got some outside looking ins though.
Go ahead.
All right. Outside looking in, shooting them with a BB gun. Effective, but very easy.
Right in the dick.
That's very easy. All you had to do was just stick it out there and shoot them. OLI number 2. The tarred basement stairs with the nail. That was an awful lot of time spent doing that. Not a great payoff. He did poke his foot and fall down the stairs. I give you that. But he could have put a lot more nails on there.
Yeah. Dude, if you cover... Sorry, no, keep going.
Outside looking in number 3. Getting glued and feathered. Great. Funny bit. I loved it. And it slowed him down a little bit, but that's purely aesthetic. He just did that for some humor. Okay?
I completely agree.
Yep.
Outside looking in number 4.
Jesus.
The ornaments at the window. Again, effective, but if Marv just would have been paying attention... And how did he know that anybody was going to be coming through the window bare feet? He did not plan their direction of path. He did not plan the direction of path. Not a very good one. Outside looking in number 5. The Matchbox.
We got 3 top 5s here.
the Matchbox cars at the bottom of the stairs. Again, very effective, but a very easy trap to place. Outside looking in.
What the fuck is left?
Are
you kidding me?
Outside looking in number
You're
6.
Just going through the movie.
is the tripwire. Again, the tripwire is a very effective trap, but very easy and lazy by Kevin. All right, I'm ready for my top 5.
All right, I'm going with my 5. My first or my 5th. So my 5th is Marv stepping on the nail and causing him to fall backwards from a pain standpoint. Inch nail going through your foot and falling back. Definitely painful.
I like that one.
Yeah, and he's like at the top of the steps too when he goes flying all the way back to the bottom.
Yeah.
My number 5 is the swinging paint cans. The swinging paint cans, very effective pain-wise, but they weren't on a trigger. He had to do it himself. He had to toss them off. So if he would have been in a pickle, he needed those things on like some kind of timer or a tripwire or something.
Yeah, that would be good.
So my number 4 was touching the fire hot doorknob. I don't think sticking your hand would cool a 3rd degree burn.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's
My number 4 was using the elements and icing the stairs.
Very smart.
Yes.
My number 3 is the iron falling down the laundry chute and hitting Marv in the head.
Yeah, that's a kill shot.
Bro, I had the same number 3.
Yeah.
I had the same number 3. The iron attached to the pool light in the basement.
Simultaneous number 3.
Classic.
Yeah. Kill
Classic
shot.
move.
That's a good one.
Classic move to tie something heavy to a pool wire so that way they can yank on it and get hit in the head.
For sure. My number 2 was the aforementioned paint can down the stairs. From a pain standpoint, it's going to either kill them or at least concuss and maybe knock them out.
Yeah, that's probably a kill shot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Depending
are
on how
mind
full the
interchangeable.
cans are.
Headshot.
My number 2 was the blowtorch at the back door.
Oh.
Caught that dude's head on fire. Set it up to go off whenever it opens up the door. Classic.
Well, we didn't coordinate this, but my number 1 is that exactly, the fire to Harry's skull. From a pain standpoint, he would need to seek immediate help for the burns, and no way he gets up from that shit. That's direct to the skull.
So I was very surprised where you had this on your list because my number 1 was the heated front door knob. That was my number 1.
From a smart standpoint, 100%.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how bad that house would stink with like cooked human flesh on the doorknob, cooked human flesh and hair at the back door?
Yeah.
Like that house
Burnt
gonna
hair
be
smells
stanky.
terrible.
Oh, so bad. So
Yeah.
that was
Roofing
hilarious
tar
because
all over the place.
I thought of that, I was like, oh, this is so clever. And then when you perked up, I was like, wait a minute. I have a feeling we have the same list. Like I just knew it. My favorite thing is the traps, though. I just, like, as a kid, you remember that and you think it's like half the movie when in reality it's like 20, 25 minutes. But it's the main event of the movie, right? Like, you get real stoked for it. I mean, the whole buildup is to this scene, and it's so iconic. It's not what we see in Elf or Jingle All the Way. It is everything we think or talk about with a Christmas movie, and there's a lot of them. But this whole like main event was my favorite thing.
Bro, when he lays out the map, it's on.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's like pumped up. Yeah, Daniel, go ahead.
Yeah, my favorite thing was the battle scene. The whole thing from him rolling out the map and the music starting to play like, oh shit, we're on. It's wartime. And then just that entire battle scene is amazing.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. So that's what I had. Eric?
I'm going to say the same thing.
Really?
The slapstick part of it was very hilarious to me. I love the physical comedy of that whole scene.
Yeah, it's like a like a classic 1920s like a Three Stooges almost.
Three Stooges,
yeah, it's like,
exactly.
Yeah, it's like a Three Stooges skit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, they do such a good job of the physical humor in this. Definitely.
Mine's the prank that Kevin plays on the pizza guy.
Oh yeah.
All right.
100%.
So because he didn't have to do all of that. He paid the guy. He paid the guy. He could have ended it there. If he didn't want to pay the guy, he could have done the rest of what he did, but he still paid the guy and then let it play out the rest of the way just to punk on the dude. Like, I know.
And like
for no good reason.
Yeah, a pizza delivery dude
just being a little shithead like Kevin here.
Yeah. The pizza delivery guy's not going to care that a kid hands you the money that you want for the pizza.
Now,
do
you guys think that little TV from the 90s was exuding that kind of sound?
Yes.
Like when
made them different back then.
You think Dolby Surround was on that?
Marv?
Yeah. Well, at least that was in a bucket of like a concentrated sound. But like that little TV in your kitchen's got Dolby Surround.
Tiny little speakers.
Just saying.
That's back when America built TVs.
And we all had little TVs in our kitchen. Well, I didn't, but a lot of people did.
I did, for sure.
Yeah, I remember you did, Eric. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Next category, we've got least favorite part about the movie. Daniel with the early hand.
My least favorite part about this movie is that Kevin's a little shitbag. He's a little shitbag. From the opening scene, he's a little shitbag.
From the opening scene, yeah.
He's a little piece of shit turd motherfucker. He's whiny. He's annoying. He's rude. He says some of the most fucked up shit to his family that you don't say to people.
Right.
And he is just a piece of shit. And then he remains a piece of shit until his mom comes home. And even then, he's still a little piece of shit. He's just like, oh, it was so scary when there were bad guys coming for me. He's a little piece of shit.
I think that's a hot take.
He tries to commit homicide. He's a little piece of shit.
He comes around.
I love how much Daniel hates Kevin.
No, he's great. The movie's great, but he's a piece of shit. The kid is a piece of shit.
He grows up, though.
He has a little bit, yeah. He was awful worried. He was awful worried about whether that toothbrush was approved by the ADA, and then he went and stole the thing.
Yeah, I think he definitely grows up. He talks to the old man at the church and convinces him to talk to his son that he didn't talk to. That's a pretty big deal for an 8-year-old.
He just says, you should talk to your son.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good.
That old man, no one's ever suggested that.
For an 8-year-old.
I love that scene because that old man just spills this sob story about not talking to his son, and Kevin's sitting there and he goes, you know what I think you should do? I think you should talk to your son.
So here's my nitpick with that. Where's the kid's parents, or where's the girl?
They're in a plane going over to France.
Where's the girl who's singing in the choir? Where's her parents while her grandpa's watching her sing? Where are they?
I think it's practice. They just dropped her off for choir practice.
On Christmas Eve? Practice? No, that's when you have that mass.
I'm not allowed to be here tonight because my son hates
I'm not allowed to be at... No, he doesn't say that.
Came to hear my granddaughter sing, and I can't come and hear her tonight.
Yes, he does. Absolutely. I watched this movie an hour ago.
Oh, no.
He literally says, I'm not allowed to be here tonight because my son hates me.
Came to hear my granddaughter sing, and I can't come and hear her tonight.
Well, he's there with no other people in sight.
Yeah,
that's why it's not packed, because it's not mass. It's just the choir practicing for their mass that evening.
At 7 or 8 o'clock practice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not a game.
Okay.
Don't okay me. It's the fucking movie.
No way.
I just fucking watched it.
You want to know the real reason why I'm here right now? Came to hear my granddaughter sing, and I can't come and hear her tonight.
Okay, I mean, I will say that it gets dark in night feeling earlier in the winter. So it may be 5:30.
No, because he runs home to get there in time. No way.
You want to know the real reason why I'm here right now? Came to hear my granddaughter sing, and I can't come and hear her tonight. And I can't come and hear her tonight. Hear her tonight. Hear her tonight.
He doesn't start prepping the house until after he does the church thing. So it was early enough. It was early enough to go to the church thing that he could go back and set up the house, and then barely leave himself enough time for dinner, which he doesn't even eat. That delicious plate of mac and cheese that he made for himself.
His microwavable mac and cheese dinner.
I'm not an old man.
You gonna try to tell us that he didn't eat mac and cheese, Matt?
Well, he did.
You gonna try to tell us that he didn't eat mac and cheese?
He didn't eat mac and cheese.
I watched the movie an hour ago. He says I'm not allowed to be here tonight.
Well, he's still there.
And I can't come and hear her tonight.
Maybe he's just saying he's there. I'm just saying, why don't we see her parents? They're not going to just drop her off. No, bullshit.
You stay for, well, I guess you do stay for all practice.
Talking about practice?
No.
Back in the 90s, you would just drop your kids off at practice and then
Okay,
go to
I'm
not sure.
I am going to jump in right here because my least
You
favorite
didn't
part.
jump. You're still sitting down.
I'm going to jump right here. Because my least favorite part was the fact that his fucking parents forgot him. Just completely forgot him. And this ties into like the fact that like that generation needed to have commercials that said like, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
No, I don't. I think they're at home and I'm in fucking France. So that's my least favorite part. Just the fucking carelessness that went in to those parents going to that trip without him and just forgetting him. And then being like, and then also everyone else was like, okay, well, she calls into the police station and he's like, oh, okay, what do you need? My kids left there. Okay.
Yeah, she didn't really specify
My
show any
biggest
kind of
beef-
concern, right?
Not my kid, not my problem. It's not my kid. I don't fucking care.
My biggest beef with all of it was 15 people. 15 people were packed, okay, or 14.
Whatever.
Because Kevin's not there. We're packed into 2 vans. 2. And not anyone went, where's Kevin? Not a soul. From getting off the bus to getting their luggage handed to them to running through the airport to catch the plane to getting onto the plane where we've all flown before. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, it was different back then, but still.
And nobody went, where's Kevin?
They were almost missed the plane.
Yeah,
so
they were in a hurry.
No, that was. Oh yeah, that they were in a hurry. That one. I was gonna say that was 2. That was 2, but
they were in a hurry, and they did have
still.
a head count, and she asked about the head count.
Even still,
I think that I do
Stevens.
agree more on the like police side. She called in and like didn't make it like a concern, and if the policeman knocks on the door and there's no one home except the kid, you think he's just gonna knock and say, "Oh, nobody answered"? What if the kid's dead?
I don't think there's anyone here.
What if the kid's dead? Like,
okay, Jim, come back. There's a Christmas party.
Yeah, exactly. I don't buy any of that.
Yeah, fuck that cop.
Well, I've
Kevin,
got
what's your
one
least
that
favorite thing?
there's one there. My least favorite thing is that the lead character in this movie is named Kevin.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
I was born 2 years before this movie came out, and then was like, "Oh, you were born after the Home Alone kid, right?"
Were you named after the
named after the Home Alone kid? Sorry. And then yeah, God, fucking 35 years old, and it's still coming with me when it comes to like Kevin! References to this movie. Just because my name is Kevin, it's kind of annoying.
One of Julie's friends named their cat Kevin just for that reason.
Was he born in the 80s?
So
no, it's a new cat.
Okay, so then it makes sense.
Well, yeah, but I just meant like Kevin.
So my least favorite thing is Buzz, and not only did he have a pet spider and a dog for a girlfriend, he was a jerk to Kevin.
Dang.
And worst of all, he claims to be a Bulls fan, yet he had an Isaiah Thomas poster in his room. You've been got. This is the heyday of the Bulls versus the Bad Boys. And infamously, Isaiah Thomas walked off into the locker room not shaking hands with Michael Jordan. This would be like Kevin having a Steelers poster in that background. Sorry, Buzz.
You're
you
not
lose.
Wrong. You're not wrong. Buzz is a piece of shit too.
Yeah.
Whole family.
I mean, most of the whole family. Yeah, exactly.
Whole
I mean,
family.
They left their kid.
Maybe that's why Kevin's such a piece of shit, because the whole family's such a piece of shit.
All right, next category.
Fucking shitheads everywhere.
We've
Wait, you're talking about that, Kevin, right?
Who won the movie? So, fine, Eric, go for it.
I'll go second. You go first.
Well, I just want to combat the Kevin is a shithead because I think Kevin wins the movie / Macaulay Culkin. So he made $100,000 for this movie, which is a lot for a kid, but not when the grand scheme of things making $500 million. But the next movie he made about $5 million in Home Alone 2, and obviously this kind of makes him a child star. But for Kevin, obviously he fights off the burglars and helps the scary neighbor reconnect with his family, not shithead things. He grows up a little, and that's a big theme in John Hughes movies, is growing up. I mean, he starts out as a shithead. He eats ice cream. He watches movies late. He jumps on his parents' bed. All shithead things, I agree. But then he starts showering. He goes and buys groceries.
Showering.
Well, I mean, what kid wants to shower? And he's, putting on aftershave. It's a pretty grown-up thing to do. He buys a toothbrush. He steals a toothbrush because he's scared. But he ends up buying groceries. And he's just, he grows up. I mean, he takes care of the house. He's the man of the house.
He went shopping. Yeah.
He ruins the house.
I
does
think
he?
I saw a TikTok.
Does he?
He does destroy that house.
Because one of my biggest issues is that the house isn't destroyed. In the morning, everything's clean except Buzz's room. Why is the house clean?
Check out his basement steps.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
We don't
for
know.
The last
but okay, what
question.
about the ornaments that were broke on the ground? Were they there? Were the toys on the ground?
No, they were.
Were the paint cans in the stairwell?
There has to be. Listen, if this was real, there would be blood everywhere.
So he cleaned.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, based on the movie,
there would be smoke stains everywhere.
He cleaned. And again, I think that's one of my biggest issues is that it's clean.
Yeah, that house should be a wreck.
Yeah, I agree, but it's not, is what I'm saying. So I'm just going off the movie.
I never said Macaulay Culkin was a piece of shit. His character in the movie was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He grows up. Eric, you go
He grows
second.
up a tiny bit. That means he's still a piece of shit.
A tiny? Kevin, go.
Eric,
yes.
Eric, go
I
ahead.
would say a tiny bit as well.
Eric, you should jump in again.
Yeah, I'm with Daniel right here. He grows up a tiny bit, but he's still a piece of shit. Anyway, the person who won the movie,
those guys were gonna break into their house and maybe kill him.
I agree. Like, it made him a household name, and he got the sequel. So
Eric,
and he made he made $5 million.
Yeah, you guys are both right. Yeah. Macaulay Culkin won the movie.
Yeah,
doesn't mean that he didn't play a piece of shit character.
Yeah,
I agree.
Exactly.
Macaulay Culkin won the movie.
Am I the only one? I put something different.
Kevin.
Well, what Kevin
chose Buzz.
No, I put Old Man Marley.
Buzz. Why?
He reconnected with his son.
Yeah, he got to actually spend Christmas with his family for the first time in years.
Nice.
And it was a happy ending over there. Like, he won the movie. He took an 8 years old's advice, but he won the movie.
Yeah, that's not a bad answer.
I like it.
Also, on that note, he is always welcome at church. Just saying.
Okay, what's the next question, Matt? You two need to fucking quit.
I mean, isn't he always welcome at church?
Yeah,
you two.
Everyone's always welcome at church.
So then he would.
That's why he's allowed to be there during choir practice.
No, he's not allowed to hear sing.
What's the next question, Matt?
At their house,
please. Go on to the next fucking question.
All right, next question we've got: favorite song, moment, or score scene. Kevin.
I'm going back to Old Man Marley.
What? For the song moment?
Oh, Holy Night.
Oh,
yeah, Oh, Holy Night.
Of course.
He's his granddaughter singing before the performance.
Oh, whatever.
And also, it's actually one of my favorite Christmas songs.
That's such bullshit. He would be at church. He just says it there.
Came to hear my granddaughter sing, and I can't come in here tonight.
You practice in church. Where are you supposed to have choir practice for church?
I'm not disagreeing with practice, but he's saying he's always
church choir
welcome
practice.
at church.
It was right before. That's why they're in their fucking uniforms. My favorite song.
Take a breath, Eric. Breathe.
My favorite song moment was
go.
I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas, which Kevin sings before the scene.
I do like that. He's like singing into the comb as he's combing his hair. Yeah.
My favorite is the intro. That sound or that like song at the beginning of the movie is always going to be iconic to me.
Yeah, we talked about that in Harry Potter, and obviously being a Christopher Columbus directed movie and John Williams score, there's a lot of similarities there.
Founded America and making movies.
Yeah, the best movies. I have a wind chime. I have a wind chime outside, and it always it has the first two notes of the Home Alone like theme song that goes throughout the song, and I always want to hear the rest of it, and it never comes. So
just what's
I
your
like
whistle?
that. I like that call. Yeah, what's your whistle?
See, my favorite was the Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, where it's it's upbeat, fun, shows off Kevin's ingenuity, and fakes out.
When they're
Yeah.
the shadows.
Right. And it's kind of an early 90s nod to that era of like classic cutouts. Like I had a cutout of Michelangelo as a kid, which I wish I still had, Dad. Yeah, that was a fun scene.
What the hell, Kent?
Yeah, well, I think he said he had it, but who knows?
My favorite is when he's leaves the church to run home and start the battle.
That epic.
I don't remember what it's called.
That's
playing, and then it like turns like a little rock and roll.
Carol of Bells.
Carol of the Bells. Yeah.
It's kind of like Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
I just noticed you added a bag of Mr. B's to your pile of boxes. You decorated. That's nice of you.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
Wait.
What is that?
Are you mixing a national song to a Christmas carol?
Yes, I was.
Jesus
I'm sorry, Canada.
Christ.
Any Canadian listeners here, I apologize if Daniel just offended you.
It's not the first time. It won't be the last time.
No, I have offended all of Europe and Asia and Africa and the Middle East and South
and
America.
now Canada.
And now
What was that episode? National Treasure.
America won the movie because this shows that America does have some fucking history. So fuck you, Europe. Fuck you, Asia. Fuck you, the Middle East. Fuck you, Africa. America has some fucking history too.
Next category we've got, does this movie get made now?
How dare you trail off and talk about Daniel's decorating?
Yes, this movie gets made now.
You say that every time.
Well, they made one 2 years ago.
Are you serious?
I'm with
Does
Kelly.
he really say it every time? Have you kept track?
I can guarantee he says it every time.
I am with Kevin.
thought Jingle
This
All the
movie
Way.
does get made because there's too much money to not leave this premise like unmade.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
also
made
agree. They're still making them. They just came out with one 2 years ago.
Right.
I just said that.
Yeah, which one was that? Is it like Home Alone 6?
It's Home Sweet Home Alone.
Oh, Jesus. I said no.
And actually, it is the 6th installment, Eric.
I said
Yes,
no.
fuck yes.
And I mean this movie specifically.
Okay, Matt, you would. You always say that.
Sorry, I have.
You guys more. Eric.
I might have put some thought into it. So I just think there's too much. In all reality, I think there's too much technology with rings and security cameras. And yes, there's still burglars, but we also have cell phones. And we kind of talked about this already, but how practical is it to call the police station now and say there's a kid home alone and nothing happens? Maybe that happens then, which even then seems unrealistic. But now, I mean, everybody would, would be on Yahoo's front page, kid left at home for a week. Everybody would know about it. And
yeah, go viral.
Do you really go to Yahoo still? What the fuck?
I actually do.
Is Yahoo still around?
Yeah, it's a website.
Yeah, that's my spam email address. I put it in for anything that I don't want.
And they put out news. I mean, you got to follow the news.
I completely agree with you, Matt. But Yahoo, what the heck?
Well, so my other argument for this is the kind of, and yeah, they make shitty versions of this movie, but to capture the movie that they made, I just don't think it's made a lot anymore. I think the target market is something that is more focus based now and more niche. And so back then it was more widespread. I mean, you were either 8 years old or 50 going to see it. And I think the only way this maybe gets made with that thought in mind is more of a Pixar movie, because I would say that Pixar is probably the most broad range from a family standpoint kind of movie. You have your Ups or your Incredibles, and it hits multiple dynamics of a family where a lot of times now it's either a kids or it's an adults or it's stoner comedy. I mean, there's so many subgenres now. Back then it wasn't really that specific. So I just think there's a few reasons it doesn't get made the same way. Yeah, I can agree that it'll be a shitty Jingle All the Way to Home Alone 12. But in this same world, I don't think it gets made unless maybe it's a Pixar. I could see that being pretty cool.
So you don't you don't think we'd get an iconic Christmas movie anymore is basically what you're saying.
Agreed. Right.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm referring to when it gets made. In this case,
Yeah. I just mean it sounds like you're talking about the iconic nature of this movie couldn't be made today because we've lost the family-friendly comedy.
Yeah,
sort of.
I think so.
Entirely.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you look back and see what movies have been popular from a family comedy standpoint, you probably won't find much. Like I said, Pixar is probably your best bet for that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Favorite line from the movie? Who wants to go first and keep it to one, obviously?
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Yep. That's on my list. Daniel?
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
You guys are being awful mean to Buzz's girlfriend.
Dave?
Don't you know how to knock, flimwad?
Don't you know how to knock, flimwad?
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Mine are all taken.
Oh, I got a couple of it. Daniel, you got another
That's all
one?
you had?
No, I just have a random ass fact that I just remembered. The director thought it would be really mean to have an actual girl in the frame of the picture for Buzz's girlfriend. Yep. So it's actually just Buzz in a wig.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because he
no
didn't want
clothes
to
on anybody.
He's
sick and awesome.
Yeah. Did you know that the Playboy, another random ass fact, that Playboy was actually taped, so where he couldn't actually see anything.
That makes sense.
Down here, you big horse's ass.
Kevin, you're such a disease.
Kevin, you're such a disease.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Going back to the building moment of the neighbor, Buzz saying, "The salt turns the bodies into mummies."
Mummies?
The salt turns the bodies into mummies.
That's all I had.
I had easy on the Pepsi, Fuller.
Fuller, go easy on the Pepsi.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
Is it true that French babes don't shave?
Is it true that French babes don't shave their pits?
Which I think started a whole thing about French babes not shaving. I mean, I think this kind of launched a lot of...
Yeah, their pits.
Yeah, their pits. I think this movie kind of launched a lot of this into pop culture. Like,
I can guarantee, 100% guarantee that Daniel thinks that French girls don't shave their pits because of that scene.
I do.
There was a time.
I thought, I don't know, I just listen to movies.
No, I think it's still going.
No, I love the French. They were our oldest allies. No. Without
Except
the French, there's no USA.
Unless we're watching National Treasure.
Well, listen, they would look down their nose because they have so much more history than we do.
Very nice country.
Okay,
USA.
we don't need to get on
castles.
All right, my other quote that I really liked and I think is an all-time classic is when Marv is talking about leaving his mark and he's like, all the great ones leave their mark. We're the wet bandits.
Harry, it's our calling card. All the great ones leave their mark. We're the wet bandits.
You did it again, didn't you? You left the water run.
Exactly. Next category. We've got most likely to be the off-screen drunk. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, Dave.
Kevin. Our Kevin, not our Kevin, not that Kevin.
The on-screen on that one.
No, Uncle Frank.
I also had Frank.
Did you see him on the? Did you see him on the plane?
Yeah.
Fill it up. Fill it up.
Yeah. I mean, we all have
to steal. He's trying to get his wife to steal the silverware on the plane.
Well, we all have a drunk
Crystal?
uncle, right?
It's Kevin.
Yeah.
Uncle Kevin.
We all
That's
have a
me.
drunk uncle. Sure, my mom's listening and knows what I'm talking about.
She knows Kevin too.
Daniel, who'd you have?
My answer is the Salt Man, because he's in a shitty family situation, and he goes out and salts the sidewalks all over his, neighborhood.
Yeah,
and that's the stuff that drunk people do. Like, hey, I'm gonna salt jingle bells. I'm salting everybody's lawn.
Or I'm mowing the neighbor's lawn.
Yeah, exactly. That's not something that's not an idea you come up with, like sitting in your house sipping some cocoa. Like, I should go salt my neighbor's, walkway.
Driveway.
Yeah. You do that when you're hammered. You're like, hey, I'm gonna be a nice person and salt my neighbor's driveway. Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, that's not helpful at all, is it?
Kevin, who did you have?
I actually had Kevin's dad because he's too calm
Peter.
and carefree that he just left his kid at home. Like, seemed like he didn't even give a shit while he was on the airplane. Like, everything's gonna be fine. No worries.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fine.
Did we forget to close the garage door?
It's the garage door. That's what
there's
I forgot.
nothing
Yeah.
Like he's definitely just like, because you never see him. I don't think you see him drink. So I think he's like taking shots left and right because he just doesn't give a shit.
It's possible.
I just made a casting connection right here.
Eric, who'd you have for your off-screen drunk?
I
Don't
had
jump ahead.
Uncle Frank as well.
Oh, nice.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he clearly hated kids and just wanted to be left alone eating shrimp.
even though he has fucking like 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah, well, he clearly doesn't like anybody.
What the hell?
Next category, we've got casting our friends. Daniel, go first.
For Kevin McCallister, I have me because I'm a piece of fucking shit.
You're not a piece of shit.
And I've grown, but I'm still a piece of fucking shit. I'm trying to overcome it, but I started out as a little piece of shit, and I've grown into a big piece of shit, and now I'm trying to overcome that and become not as big a piece of shit.
Just buy a toothbrush.
Yeah.
Don't steal it.
Steal one, yeah.
Steal
fair.
one that doesn't even fit my sterling expectations. It has to be ADA approved.
Well,
if it's
you know,
not, then I'll just steal it.
If he would have been caught, then the movie's over because they'd have been like, "Hey, where's your parents?" And he said, "I don't know." And then we would have been like, "Oh, good for him."
And then the cops would have been like, "Okay, you should probably come to the station, and we'll call your parents."
And then the wet bandits get to ransack the house.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
It's just bad. It's just
That's
bad.
true.
For Uncle Jack, I have Dave.
Uncle Frank.
Who's Uncle Jack?
Uncle Frank, whatever.
Dave.
I have Dave because I feel like Dave would look at a child and be like, "Look what you did, you little jerk."
Yeah.
Also, if Dave's getting free champagne on a flight, I don't think he's ever gonna be or not gonna be like, "Yeah, fill her up, fill her up."
Yeah.
That's gonna be Dave. For Buzz, I have Matt because he's got muscles.
Oh, that's always the go-to.
Yeah.
And because Matt and I bicker sometimes, but deep down he loves me.
Yeah. And you love him.
Fair.
Yeah, I do. And I figure it out because while almost committing homicide on 2 grown men.
I mean,
and that's all
you're
I got.
underage. Nice.
That's true. I'm only going away to 18. That's only 10 years in the clink.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
So I had Daniel as Buzz. And I said probably because he didn't like Alice touching his stuff, and he's a big Chicago sports fan.
Except Buzz is a fake Chicago sports fan.
Yeah, well, that's true. I would agree with that.
Because in high school, you wouldn't
had
have found a Barry Sanders poster in my.
Just a card. Well, actually, you wouldn't find a card. Somebody else has it.
Yeah.
I had Cody as Uncle Frank. I mean, who else is going to have Lakin steal the crystal silverware in first class?
Yeah, that hits. That is better than my.
Yeah.
And the fact that he had his brother pay for him to sit in first class. Come on. That's Cody all day. I'm pretty pumped on this one. Kevin is Fuller. Give him too much Pepsi and he might wet the bed.
Adult Pepsi.
Adult Pepsi.
I drink Coca-Cola.
And then my last one.
Adult Pops.
Adult Pop. And then my last one is Cohen as Mitch Murphy, the little boy who gets counted as Kevin during the infamous failed head count. Because he's going to come up to a stranger and ask a million questions, just ambush him.
How many miles per gallon does this man get?
Which team are we rooting for? What is this, the Lakers? Do you like the Cavaliers?
Which person are we rooting for?
Yeah. So that's what I had.
That's spot on.
That is hilarious. I had Uncle Frank as Daniel because he's not a kid's dude, and
he hates kids, as he says.
I could see him saying something like, "Look what you did, you little jerk."
I said I'm not the biggest fan of children.
Okay.
Yes, but I think you would only do that to a child who you didn't know, and you only had the impression of them being an asshole. Because any child you do know, you love.
That's pretty true.
Yeah, I also said, Peter. To recall to the last one, Peter is Jawn because he's just like Jawn. Oblivious to like maybe the garage door.
That's good.
Not that I think Jawn would forget his kids at his house while he goes to France, but that aspect of the Peter character
if
is
it's any
hilarious.
of us, it's Jawn. If it's any of us, it's Jawn.
Yeah, okay. I will also go with that. Those are the only two I had.
Nice.
I had a handful on this one.
All right, let's hear it.
I put Daniel as Kevin, but it's because he tries to do laundry.
He's afraid of laundry, so he doesn't do it.
I put myself as Gus, which is John Candy's character.
Polka.
Because I think people would recognize me for some band that nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, you know, I was in this band.
You've heard this song, right?
Yeah. We did 200. We sold 624 of that song.
It's real big for us.
Exactly. I have Cody as Harry. Not that he's going to rob anybody, but if anybody were to get inside information and know exactly when things were going to turn on, when somebody wouldn't be home and all that would be Cody.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I put Jawn as Marv. Because
very accurate.
Yeah, he'd go do anything and try it just because someone told him or asked him to, without thinking twice.
I'm pretty sure I could talk Jawn into breaking into a house.
My house.
And then,
oh yeah,
and then
or somebody's random apartment 4 stories up, and whatever.
Yeah, and then while you're planning it, John's like, "Ooh, there other robbers have calling cards, so we should do something too." And then you're talking about something okay, we're gonna do this, that, and this, and John's like,
yeah,
I'm gonna leave the sink running. Sorry.
But yeah, that's where it goes. But yeah, I mean that's obviously extremes, but just the personality wise.
All right, I got a list here.
Oh.
So Kevin and I actually had a lot of the same. I also had Kevin as Gus Polanski because he just is talking about his bands that nobody gives a shit about. And Kevin would choose driving over waiting on a flight to show up.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Very.
Kevin would definitely be like, "Fucking, let's get in the car, bro.
Let's drive 16 hours."
Kevin, for the record,
I
don't think your bands are shitty. It just was a funnier joke to say it that way than it was.
It's pretty funny
to say, "Oh, hearing about Kevin talk about his bands that nobody wants to listen to."
Hey, I made the same joke.
That's pretty good too. I was just like,
I also had Jawn as Marv because he's just a goofy son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I also had hair. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say that whole scene where Marv's at the bottom of the steps on the sheet of ice and is doing all the pratfalls,
the dancing.
Yeah, I can see Jawn doing that. And then finally figuring out, oh, you got to put your feet on both sides.
I also had Cody as Harry because if Cody's going to plot and scheme, he's going to plot and scheme well enough to know when everything is happening and what's going on, and even going as far as to dressing up like a police officer to get inside information.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, can we rewind back to that? how did they not notice the police officer in that house? He's just standing around.
Yeah.
And like everyone's all throughout there and they didn't give a shit about him.
Yeah, well, children don't typically.
They were all
cops.
shitheads.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
it's a family of
that's
shitheads.
Yeah. Fast forward back to David.
I had Daniel as Uncle Frank for all of the reasons that Eric gave that Daniel would be Uncle Frank. Let's see. I had Kevin as Kevin because he's a little shithead. I also had Kevin as Marley, and Marley is the name of the neighbor that is out salting the sidewalks, because Kevin would be the type of guy to go out and help his neighbors by salting the driveways and salting the sidewalks and everything, but everybody would think that he's really weird for doing it.
Yeah, Kevin would definitely be like, yeah, I'm just going to be a nice guy and help out.
The most well-intentioned.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
Exactly.
That's it.
Nice. Nice.
Well done, everyone.
All right. Now we get into our podium moments. So first we got, is this a podium role for any of the top billed cast members? Well, I'll start with the obvious. Macaulay Culkin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep. Yes.
People on the podcast can't hear you guys give a thumbs up.
Or a fireworks.
Yeah.
Hey,
I was waiting for everyone else to say it. And
did anybody come up with a podium list for him?
Uncle Buck in these movies.
Home
Alone 1, Home Alone 2, Home Alone 1.
And then
that's it.
And Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck's good.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice. I said this, My Girl, and Pagemaster. Remember how sick that movie was?
Yeah, I forgot.
I wonder if that one holds up.
Pagemaster.
Because Pagemaster was like
I haven't seen it in a
like
long
a Roger
time.
Rabbit type where it's like
a mix.
real live action and animation. So
I can't say that I know that it holds up, but I remember when we were kids, it was pretty dope.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I saw it as like a top of his, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Next, we have Catherine O'Hara.
I said no.
I know you. I knew you would. I said yes. This is definitely her biggest movie, and she's the only other really main character. I mean, you see a
I beg to differ.
I forget
Best
you.
in show.
Yeah, I definitely beg to differ.
I also had Best in Show. I had this Best in Show and Beetlejuice.
She was in Dick Tracy.
Yeah, but but she's not a huge role in Dick Tracy, is she?
She's
I think she's down the list.
She's Texie Garcia.
I mean,
so no, I don't think so.
She propels this movie in a different direction. I mean, she really is the only other character you see a bunch. Everybody else is a very side or minor, and you do follow her back to Kevin, and so I think she has a pretty big role in this. I could also see an argument for another Christopher Guest movie other than Best in Show, right? A Mighty Wind, exactly. I knew that's where you were going.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's pretty good in this, and yeah, she's also good in those as well. Great movies.
She's just awesome all around.
She is. She's really good. Yeah. Daniel Stern.
Yes.
I said yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I said this, City Slickers, and since I can't say Wonder Years, right, Daniel? I'll say Celtic Pride.
Oh, Celtic Pride is
say,
so funny.
Rookie of the Year.
Celtic Pride is amazing.
It is. I need to go back and watch that.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, Rookie of the Year, he's good, but not as good as this. And he's in Little Monsters as well, right before this came out. He had a pretty big little peak here with City Slickers, this, and Little Monsters. And then
it's like a 6-year span.
Yeah, he had a pretty big era there, all with Wonder Years behind his belt as well. And then last I'll say is Joe Pesci.
I said
that's
yes.
a hell no.
I said no. You said yes?
Well, I counted The Godfather as like one thing.
Not the,
And then
not the
also-
Godfather.
He's not in
He's not in
the
Godfather.
Godfather.
Oh fuck!
Goodfellas.
Jesus, Goodfellas.
I said no as well.
Sorry.
This is
Goodfellas.
You
close.
count
Lethal Weapon
the good-
4
Pretty
which
good.
one?
3, I
I'll
think.
go, and 2 and 1.
No, I don't think he's in 2 and 1.
I think he is.
He's in 2.
I think he's in
Fuck.
all of them. But
God, I don't know.
he's
I'm
also
not the Joe Pesci.
he's also in Raging Bull, which he was really where he got his big start. And then he has an Oscar, as I mentioned, for Goodfellas. And then we also have
He's
My
also-
Cousin Vinny, where he was Cousin Vinny. Those were his,
in Casino too.
and he was again another guy in this early '90s, late '80s that had a bunch of hits, but these were probably his biggest, his all-time greats.
I didn't realize that this movie and Goodfellas came out in the same year.
Yeah,
Like,
both
can you
1990.
imagine going to see Goodfellas and then going to see this movie later and being like, wait, that's the "Do you think I'm a clown" guy?
Yeah, isn't that wild? All right, so last we've got, does this movie podium on your all-time Christmas movie list?
Ooh,
Kevin?
Bongos.
I say no.
Eric,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
and Dave.
This is for Christmas movies.
Yeah,
Yes.
top 3
Does
Christmas
it,
movie.
does it your podium for you? We're doing
Yeah.
the reveal on the last episode of the month.
Yeah. Does
Yeah.
this
What'd you
make?
say? You said yes?
Yes.
The answer, yes.
And I
say
also,
yes.
I also for the first time said yes. So
I'm
everybody
going no.
but Kevin.
He's got Jingle All the Way 3 times.
Yeah, we already know his list.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I didn't really watch this growing up. I don't think I really watched this until probably late '90s, if not early 2000s.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a household movie for me.
I watched it a bunch as a kid, and then last year it kind of had a resurgence in our house, and we watched it like 10 times in 10 days. Like every single morning, I'd wake up and they had it on. I was like, all right, here we go again.
I would say the sequel is better for me.
Home
Alone
okay.
2, Electric Boogaloo.
Electric
Yes, Home Alone
Boogaloo.
2,
I think
Electric
I
Boogaloo.
might be with Kevin.
It's good, but it's not better.
I don't.
The video
I think
game's
they're,
better.
I think they're on even playing ground. The quotes that I think of when I think of Home Alone are all from 2. And I love 1 too. I love 1 as well, but
Yeah.
For me, it's all the first one.
Yeah.
All my quotes are from the first one.
Same. Other than Suck Brick Kid, right? That's where Eric was going with that.
It's so good.
Oh, I forgot one of my quotes. Did anyone say there are 15 other people in this house and you're the only one causing trouble?
No.
Nope.
Oh, and also before
Well, you just did.
we sign off, it's not a quote, but how disgusting is Buzz eating that pizza? Did anybody else
yeah.
be like,
Where
what
he's,
the
like,
hell is he
stretching?
doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
He's-
no, and how he folds it and just crumps
Makes
it
a
up.
ball
And,
and
Yeah,
just-
like
yeah, that's so disgusting. Who eats
Yeah.
like that?
Buzz.
Buzz.
That's why
Exactly.
his girlfriend looks like woof.
Like Buzz.
I think Dave likes Buzz's girlfriend.
I'm really getting tired of you guys talking so poorly about Buzz's girlfriend.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning into our show. Please like and subscribe us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on your favorite social media platforms for clips, updates, and opportunities to vote on a movie we watch.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye,
You guys.
And also, he wanted call times. Uh-oh, Eric's camera went out.
I'm still here.
Sure.
Sure.
And so apparently he wanted later call times. This was because oh my god,
Eric,
we're just derailing
what got
this.
into you tonight. You're being so bad.
I'm sorry.
You need paddle.
He came back doing that stupid ass face he does where